Welcome to another episode of the Bubcast. My name's Bill Showtime Corsetti, and my guest today is Carmen Mangini. What's up, Carmen?
Not much, Bill. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You ready to talk about some backlash predictions?
Yeah, let's get into it.
First, I got here. We may not want to. Let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship match: Bianca Belair versus the Japan Yokozuna, whatever she's calling herself.
Io Sky.
Io Sky. Thank you very much. Who do you think wins that match?
I can't see them have Bailey dropping the belt, Bianca Belair dropping the belt anytime soon. You have Bailey and Dakota Kai on the outside with Io Sky. I think they're going to use this as a means to maybe start breaking up the faction. I think maybe one of them outside the ring, probably Bailey, will somehow cost the match. I think they're getting ready to split them guys up.
Yeah, and I think Bianca Belair's gonna win, and I think she's gonna start. I can see them doing something with like her and Rhea Ripley switching titles, and she's gonna be on like SmackDown now. I think they might give her the blue belt and give Rhea Ripley the Raw. If Rhea's most likely, in my opinion, gonna get drafted to Raw, so she'll probably get the red belt after that happens. I think.
Yeah, more than likely, you're right there. I think they've done that in the past where they have I think it was actually with the women's. I think it was maybe Charlotte and Becky a couple years ago, where they had switch belts in the ring. It was they made a whole big thing out of it. So I could see them definitely doing the same thing again. Maybe set up some kind of match. I don't know, with Saudi Arabia or whatever, but between Bianca and Rhea Ripley, I think it'd be a really good match. Actually, we'll see what happens.
Do you think Rhea Ripley gets drafted to Raw?
Yeah, it only makes sense. They're not gonna have the belts two belts on one brand. So I think it's probably going they'll probably explain it tomorrow night, or probably an automatic thing or something.
Next, we got Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega for the SmackDown Women's Championship. I think Rhea's going to retain. Who do you think?
Oh yeah, I definitely think Rhea wins this. I think probably be a squash match. I don't even know why they'd waste the premium live event time with this match. I think Rhea's going to squash her. Just because I guess the little feud that's going on now between them and the LWO, so they're having this match. But Rhea Ripley's about 2 feet taller than her. I don't see this match going anywhere.
Do you like Rhea Ripley?
I do like Rhea Ripley. I think she's a hell of a wrestler. I think she's doing really good.
Do you like Zelina?
She's got the belt.
Do you like Zelina Vega?
No, there's nothing really there. They really don't give her much of a chance to wrestle. So out of the blue, she has a championship match. It's kind of crap.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you. I like the only guys I like in the Judgment Day are Priest, Balor, and Rhea Ripley. It's not that I hate the faction. Actually, I do hate the faction, but I do like Priest, and I do like Balor, and I do like Ripley because I think those guys are actual wrestlers. But I can't stand Dominic Mysterio, him trying to act like a tough guy.
Yeah, I get that's kind of the character, but at the same time, I don't think it's his character that makes people hate him. I think it's the fact that he's not a good wrestler, and pretty much it's common knowledge that Rey Mysterio kind of forced him on TV in order to re-sign his contract. So, there's really no winning that. He's just not good.
Next, let's get into this match for the United States Championship match: Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed versus Theory. Now, you might shock me, but I think Theory somehow going to retain.
I actually agree with you. I think they're almost making it look like there's no way in the world he could win. So then clearly he winds up winning. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these three win it. I think Bronson Reed would be the most surprising out of the three. But yeah, I actually agree. I think Austin Theory keeps the belt.
There's a factor that I think Bobby Lashley got drafted to SmackDown to give Roman Reigns more challengers. I wouldn't be surprised if he faces Roman Reigns at Clash of the Champions.
Yeah, he has no real challenger set up right now for it. Clash of the things in Saudi Arabia kind of bullshitty, but
I think it's going to be a good pay-per-view. But I just don't like it being in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, like I said, I'm still waiting to see what they want to do with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, because if every title is supposed to be defended, I'm pretty sure they're not going to Saudi Arabia, so we'll see.
Next, let's talk about the match you probably don't want to talk about. Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest.
Yeah, it's kind of a joke match. Like, again, this is like a waste of time. I get it, like it's in Puerto Rico, so you're gonna have these guys fight. I mean, I think there's better ways you could have did it. To have like a DJ rapper like going after Damian Priest, who's a foot taller than him, and obviously he is a professional wrestler. I don't see this going for. If there's going to be a lot of running around, a lot of BS, I don't see it being a very good match. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow they have Bad Bunny win the match, which is a ridiculous thought, but that just seems to be what they do.
Aren't they both? Aren't they both from Puerto Rico?
Yeah, but Bad Bunny's this world famous rapper.
Actually, I didn't even hear about Bad Bunny until 4 years ago.
No, I pretty much just started hearing about him right before wrestling. So I think he's just really he's getting into his prime now. He's huge around the world. But there's no place in a wrestling ring for it.
Seth Rollins versus Omos. I think Seth Rollins will slay the beast, slay the giant, whatever you want to call him, the giant at Backlash, and beat Omos.
I could definitely see Seth Rollins winning. I also could see this one being Seth Rollins loses because MVP hits him with a cane when the person isn't looking, the referee's not looking. This just seems like a weird match to me. How this even gets set up? It's just odd.
It just got set up out of the blue. I think Seth Rollins could be, in my opinion, one of the favorites to be the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely see Rollins taking it.
A couple reports say that he's not happy in WWE backstage, so Triple H is trying to push him to win the title.
Yeah, well, I mean, Triple H can push whoever he wants, so if he wants Seth Rollins to get it, it's going to happen. So we'll see.
If he can push Seth to get it, he's most likely going to get it.
Yeah, man. Triple H wants it. People are going to be hard pressed to change his mind.
Because I still think Seth deserves another title run, even though he probably doesn't need it. But if Roman can keep,
I'm sure we'll get multiple title runs yet before his time is up.
If Roman Reigns deserves the title and I know you want to see him lose it, but since with this other world title, it looks like he may not be losing the title anytime soon.
It's ridiculous.
What'd you say?
It's just ridiculous. I got to do something with it. I don't know.
Maybe have Sikoa turn on him.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be pretty neat, actually. That'd be the one nobody expects. That'd actually be pretty good.
That's why the fact is that next year in WrestleMania in Philly, I wouldn't be surprised if Roman Reigns is still the undisputed champion.
Yeah, I'm hoping not, but I wouldn't be surprised either.
What about the Bloodline match? Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Riddle versus the Bloodlines. Jimmy and Jay, and so is Sikoa versus Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Riddle. Who do you think wins this one?
I see the good guys winning. I think Zayn, Owens, and Riddle will take it. I like the new, more serious Riddle. The whole, pothead, funny guy. I couldn't get behind that. You couldn't take him seriously. I couldn't anyway. I like that he's trying to be a little more serious now. I read that when he's getting ready to come back, that was one of the things he wanted to do. He wanted to get more back into, the cage fighting mentality. Or, not just a goof, jumping in the ring, flipping his flip-flops into the crowd. So I'm glad to see that. I think they wound up winning.
I have to agree with you. I think they win, and then that's it with Roman Reigns. I think he's had enough of the Usos.
Yeah, I definitely think. I find it funny that when they drafted the Bloodline the other night, it was only Solo Sikoa, Roman Reigns, and Paul Heyman. The Usos weren't involved in that.
I think
we'll see what happens.
I think the Usos are going to get drafted to Raw on Monday.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it was an interesting thing that they did. They didn't include them. I think there's probably a reason behind that.
And then I think the Usos you could laugh at me, but I think the Usos are going to somehow come back and try to get the revenge on Roman Reigns.
Well, if they actually split up like that, then yeah, if it's an ugly split. If they get drafted to different shows, it's going to be the Bloodline on Raw, the Bloodline on SmackDown. But I think if they lose this one, I think Jimmy and Jay may be on the outs with Roman, something, which would be interesting to watch. Change the story up.
Next, we got Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar defeats Cody Rhodes.
I mean, I'm just going to go Cody Rhodes. Like, I easily could see Brock Lesnar winning, but offhand, I don't know the status of his contract. I know, I think it might be on an appearance basis at this point. I'm not even sure. So unless they're setting something up for maybe Saudi Arabia Saudi Arabia or even London, I don't know. There's nothing to really have Brock Lesnar win it. So I don't know. I'll pick Cody Rhodes.
And that's another man who could win the world title, Cody Rhodes.
Oh, absolutely. There's a few names out there. You definitely could do that. You wait and see who's, how they're going to do this and who's going to be involved in the mix.
So yeah, that was a sure feud, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, wasn't it?
For now, I think I might come back. Who knows? I think I can see them revisiting that feud.
You think Cody finds his way back to SmackDown?
Yeah, maybe. Things happen in wrestling. You know what I mean? You always got to defer to the good story. So let's see what happens.
Now, here's a story I want to get into. How long do you think Randy Orton will ever wrestle again?
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, he was there at WrestleMania. They talked about maybe getting involved, not necessarily wrestling, but just getting involved, get his face in there. From what I understand, they hadn't even talked about him at all in months. So just the fact that they're talking about him again, I'm guessing he's getting near ready to come back. Even it's kind of like when Edge first came back, and he didn't wrestle per se in the beginning. There was a couple weird gimmick matches and run-ins. But I think sooner rather than later, I think you're going to see Randy Orton back.
Because it's coming on in a year in May 17th when the Bloodline took him out of action.
Yeah. Maybe that'll want to. Would it make sense then maybe even if this one coming up in Puerto Rico, Riddle's involved in the match against the Bloodline, maybe he does a run-in.
Now, are guys that are hurt involved in the draft or no?
I think there were some. They put the list out. It was 96 or 98 names of people who were involved in the draft. I don't know if anybody injured was on it, but then you had when the OC got drafted and AJ Styles came out with them. He was part of that. That was his big return. So
was Orton part of that list or no?
I don't recall seeing Orton on the list, but I mean, I looked at it real quickly. I didn't go over the whole thing.
Probably because they want him to be a surprise return. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they may do when Cena came back that one time, and it was he was a free agent, so they may do the same thing with Randy.
So yeah, we'll see what happens at Backlash, but I think the one in Saudi Arabia is going to be good, honestly.
And I hope it is. I mean, it's Night of Champions. It's all championship matches. It should be a really good one. Like I said, my worry is how they're going to handle Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. I don't want to see them dropping the belts already just because they have to have a match, there with this nonsense. So something around it.
The report I heard is that they're going to drop it. So
yeah, that's everything going around. Everybody says they're going to drop it to the Usos again, which that would suck. All just
The Usos won The Usos won yesterday, so unless they play again before that pay-per-view, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They won Friday, so unless they play again before Clash of the Champions, which is many weeks away, so they very well could, but
yeah, we have 4 weeks till then, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they could definitely do it.
But they beat them twice, and I like the Usos, but I like the belts on Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I mean, just something different. You'd say you've seen the belts on the same people over and over again. And change it up. Get some new blood in there. Do something. Like
Rhea Ripley is champion. That's new, right?
Yeah. Yeah, even Bianca Belair, she's been for a while now. But it's not Charlotte. It's not Becky. It's not, the same ones over and over again. That's Ronda Rousey, for God's sakes. Thank God. You barely see her these days.
Do you want to see Bianca Belair drop the belt?
I mean, if it's a good story, I have no problem with her keeping the belt. I have no problem with somebody taking the belt off of her. I just want to see a good story. Like, things have been going better. It seems that way anyway, so let's hope it keeps up. And, the stories play out. I have no problem with her keeping it or dropping it. Like, I don't want to see her drop it to Charlotte. I don't want to see her drop it to Ronda Rousey. Like, if you want to do something wacky and give it to somebody totally new, I'm in. Otherwise, just keep the belt on her.
Keep it on her.
Yep.
So, yeah, we discovered all the matches at Backlash. I don't know how good it's going to be just because there's no World Championship match, but that doesn't really stop it from being a good pay-per-view. But just looking at the matches, they get a couple good matches. I think Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar are really going to have a good match for this pay-per-view to be good because I think it'll be okay, but I don't think, when I looked at the match card earlier, I don't think really any match it really steals the show.
Yeah, no, I think the one really has a chance of really being a show stealer would be actually the 6-man tag match, which usually you wouldn't hear that from a 6-man match, but just with the people involved, I think it could be a really good match. Out of the singles matches, I think Cody Rhodes and Brock has the best chance. I don't see it being the show stealer, but if you're only looking at those matches, I think it has a shot at it. There's really nothing jumping out at me about these other matches.
I mean, it stinks. It's terrible when there's no World Heavyweight Championship match. I mean, that doesn't always stop it from being a good show, but I'm just saying it's just not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly don't need the World Championship match. I'm fine without it. Just these matches all look like they're kind of just thrown together. There's real no storyline mostly behind them, or just very little storyline. This is going to be like, it's sad to say, but it's just kind of like a throw-in, premium live event, not pay-per-view anymore, just to get ready for Saudi Arabia. They don't want anything major to happen between now and then. They want to keep people healthy. They want to keep those storylines going, or perhaps get ready to set up a new one, which you might see after this. Who knows? But I think this is just like it's an event to have an event. But I think they're really already thinking about Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, but aren't you happy though that Roman Reigns will have to stay on Roman Reigns' brand now? Can't
really. I mean, if he comes over, he comes over. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal.
You just want to see him drop the belt.
Yeah, I would like to see him drop at least one of the belts. Like, I don't like them. Basically, they're adding a third. Are they unifying his titles now?
No, what's going on? What I have heard, and now this could be a false. What I have heard is that soon they're going to get rid of the Universal totally.
Yeah.
And just have kind of like the old days, the World Heavyweight Championship, regular, and the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
You want one? What do you want? One world title?
I'm more of the one. At least with the world title, just having one. I think there should be one world champion. You can't have 2 and 3 of them in the same company. It's goofy. If you want to have like a TV champion, you want to have a different title, that's fine. But you can't have 2 world champions. Or one's the champion of the world, one's champion of the universe. Like, that's just stupid.
I'm not a fan of the Universal Champion, but I do like Roman Reigns, just like Die. But at the end of the day, I do think Roman Reigns is going to keep it till next year in WrestleMania. I just have that feeling. Now with the other world champion, he can keep it. I think they want Roman Reigns to break like records here.
I know, clearly that's what they're going for. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's just like, I don't know, it just gets old seeing the same thing.
They might want him to break like Bob Backlund, who held it for 5 years.
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino.
How long did Bob Backlund keep it? He kept it long, right?
I think he kept it for a bit. I don't know how long exactly.
Bruno Sammartino. They want the same. They want him to break records here. They want him to go down as one of the best of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
And I still don't think he's better than guys like Randy Orton or Triple H or John Cena, but it's what they're saying. You know what I mean?
Well, it's an entertaining show. They're doing it as they think needs to be done.
I mean, so I don't think. I think he's good, but like always, I don't think Reigns is that. I think Reigns is a good wrestler, but I don't think he's that good as they're making him.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I think if you ask me who's better, Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, I'll say Seth Rollins is better in ring 100 times out of 100, but Roman Reigns has a better character.
I mean, he's got a long way to go to take over the number one spot. Like right now, I think he's like right around number 5 all time.
Who, Roman Reigns?
Yeah. But
You think Roman Reigns is 5th best all time?
no. I'm saying his title reign lengthwise.
Oh, title reign. Thought you said 5th best all time.
No, he's right around 5th as far as length of his title reign.
You think that if they keep it that long, you're going to go nuts, aren't you?
Well, for him to keep it, he'd have to keep it for like 4 years. Or like Bruno Sammartino has the longest run, and it's almost 3,000 days. So, I mean, that's a long run.
And Roman Reigns doesn't even fight every pay-per-view.
No.
Like, Roman Reigns, honestly, to be champion, I think you should fight at every pay-per-view. You don't have to be at every show. I would like if you're at every show. But, again, like I told, my problem when Brock Lesnar was the world champion, it's not that he didn't fight wasn't at every show. It's that he didn't defend at every pay-per-view.
Yeah.
He fought 5 times a year.
Like 2 or 3.
Me and you could be world champion 500 days a year with fighting 4 days a year.
Yeah.
You don't have to defend the title.
Nope.
I mean, Reigns actually fights probably 6, 7, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably fight the next 2 after that, and then he might take Money in the Bank off, but with this new world champion, we'll at least have a world title match. And I always like world title matches because I think they're the best match on the show.
Well, they should be. It's the world title. It should be a big match every time.
So, you ready to get into some Phillies talk?
Sure.
Phillies are finally starting to get hot.
Yeah, they are. They're above 500. Already won the series against the Astros. They're looking good.
I think they'll sweep.
Aubrey ready to come back quickest ever from Tommy John surgery.
I think they're going to sweep the Astros tonight.
I'd like to see it.
Bailey Falter.
I definitely think they could. Then we go to L.A., steaming hot, tear through the West Coast.
Then we come back home and take on the Red Sox. But let's get through one game at a time. I think, like I said, baseball's a game of runs. Right now, we're hot. Next time we play the Dodgers, if we beat up on the Dodgers, they could be hot. It's a game of runs.
That's it. It's who's hot at the time.
Phillies are hot right now, and I hope to God they stay hot for the rest of the year. But you know they're going to go for their ups and downs.
It's baseball. It's a long season.
Like the Pirates are 20-8. I don't think they're going to stay that hot.
Nah. I don't think anybody thinks they're going to stay that hot.
What'd you say?
I don't think anybody thinks the Pirates are going to stay that hot.
I think the Pirates are going to fold.
Sadly, they usually do. But hey, guess what? They got McCutchen back. I'd like to see him have, maybe his last year. I don't know. I'd like to see him go out on a good year.
Yeah. Well, for the Phillies, I like the way my man Bryson Stott's hitting the ball. I like the way Bomer, even Marsh, Nick Castellanos, I think, is going to have a monster year, and he already is. What's he batting? 330 something, right? 333.
Like that.
333 with 4 homers. This is the year, Nick Castellanos, and if we get Bryce Harper back, that's like going to the trade deadline and getting a superstar. If you get Nick Castellanos hitting the way he's hitting, and then Bryce Harper comes back, that's like
Trey Turner start getting hot. Schwarber maybe start getting hot.
You know Schwarber, he doesn't get hot till June. He's a 12-homer guy in June, remember?
Got to do something.
I think he'll get hot now, but I think he's more of a guy that gets hot in the heat. I mean, he does good in the postseason, but, like, I'm talking about regular season.
Yeah, I got you.
He'll start hitting, you watch, he'll start hitting bombs maybe end of May, June. No, he has 5 bombs. I don't think he's hitting terrible, but he'll start, sadly, he's not leading the league in strikeouts right now. It's Trey Turner. I
Yeah,
think.
Trey Turner hasn't really gotten on a streak yet, so
I mean,
hopefully he starts getting a little more comfortable.
he started off okay, and then batting like 320, and then now he's like at 275.
Yeah, that was like the first couple games of the season. Then he just started dropping off. He hasn't really on the tear yet.
Then I thought he was okay, but even though he was still batting 320 in like the first couple weeks, I still never thought he was there yet.
No, he definitely has. I don't know if he's just not comfortable yet. Maybe when Bryce gets back, we'll get all your. I mean, he's in the clubhouse, and when he's back playing, maybe he'll feel a little less pressure. I don't know. Maybe. He's not what we bargained for yet.
Well, I think he'll turn it around.
Yeah, he's a professional. I'm sure he will.
I think Phillies have a good offense, but recently it looks like they're coming on hitting. Like when they score 15 runs, you're like, oh god. Next day they're only going to score 0-1.
Yeah.
So I like Jose Alvarado in the back. Man, he's lights out.
Yeah, ever since they sent him down, he's been killing it. Hopefully, he keeps up.
Do you like our bullpen or not yet?
I like aspects of it. There's some guys I like, some guys I'm not a huge fan of still.
I like Alvarado, Dominguez, Kimbrel, Soto, and maybe Brogdon. That's about it probably.
Still not a fan of Brogdon.
He's
too streaky. He comes in. I don't know. He hasn't put together a lot streak enough to where I'm going to feel confident when he comes into the game.
He's okay. I mean, I don't. The four guys that I do feel comfortable with. I can tell you why I feel confident with Soto is because I feel like he can be good because he was an all-star. He was a good closer last year. So I know you may say he's control, and he's control, and so is Dominguez. But I still feel like for us, our bullpen to be good, those four guys have to be good.
Yeah, they have to be good. They're not necessarily being good right now. When they get good, that's when I'll be confident in them.
Yeah,
Alvarado right now is your most solid piece in the bullpen.
I think it was.
I don't have utter confidence in anyone else.
I don't think it was. I think it was the move they had to make him the closer.
Who's that?
Alvarado. I don't know if they.
He's the closer right now.
I don't know if they really said he's the closer, but they haven't. But
Kimbrel's been in. Kimbrel saved games.
But it seems like for most, the two guys that are getting saves are Kimbrel and Alvarado.
Yeah, it depends on where they're at in the lineup, who Topper brings in.
It seems like a lot Alvarado's going, but if he can't go, then he'll go to Kimbrel probably because of his experience.
Yeah, I mean Kimbrel's an all-star closer.
I like Kimbrel.
Yeah,
he started off bad, but now he's getting on a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean, you only pitch an inning a game, so it's not hard to get off to a good or a bad start. You have two bad games, you got a monster ERA, you look awful.
Then you can
take long to turn it around.
You got to get it. You got to pitch a couple starts to get it around, just because you only pitch one inning.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, we'll see. But I do think the Phillies are going to win the NL East.
I'd love to see them win the NL East. They absolutely can win the NL East. Just want to see them get into the playoffs again. Just get in there and make things happen again.
I think
got plenty of time, so we definitely can still snag the division, which would be very nice.
Yeah, the thing is, though, it's shocking. Like, last year we would have played the Braves and Mets, and I like this new schedule. I really do. But we didn't. I like playing everyone in the league. It's kind of like NBA. You play everyone in the league, your division 4 times, 2 at their place, 2 here. I like doing that. I haven't seen it all yet, but I think I like playing everyone in the league at least once.
I mean, if you're going to have interleague play, you might as well play the entire league. We didn't lose that many division games to make it happen. And, it's interesting. You literally play every team now. So you can't say so-and-so had a better or harder schedule. They got to play this division or that division. Everybody plays every division. And then obviously you pile up on your own division. So it's about as even as it can get across Major League Baseball.
You still play, I think, every team in the National League twice. And you play every team in the American League once. So there is no playing Phillies next year won't just play the American League West. They'll play everyone. They're not playing at Baltimore and at Baltimore. You play this year they played home against Seattle. So next year I believe they'll go to Seattle.
Yeah, they'll switch back and forth.
Yeah, so this year Angels come in, next year they'll go to the Angels. It switches every
Yeah,
year.
Boston this weekend coming up, and then we'll be in Boston next year.
I like going to Boston. I like the Fenway.
Yeah, Fenway's a nice park.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Phillies are gonna come around with some bombs, and I think I got the Phillies Angels World Series.
Sounds good.
I know
I'm going Phillies in Toronto. I'm going on a 30-year redemption ride. We're going to score Toronto in the World Series.
From Joe Carter, you hit the biggest homer in your life, Joe?
Yeah, piece of dirt.
If he was around, you would say, you piece of dirt?
Yes, I would.
I think, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just think I would like to see Mike Trout and Ohtani versus Harper and Turner, you know?
Yeah.
If the Phillies ain't in the playoffs, that's one guy I always vote for, straight Turner.
If Ohtani is still on the team, and if Mike Trout is healthy.
Yeah, if the Phillies ain't going nowhere, I always vote for Mike Trout, but they've never been in the playoffs, so I haven't had that chance because they don't have the pitching. And I think, you don't know, the American League West is so, like, bunched up right now because besides the Mariners and A's right now, the top three teams between the Rangers, A's, Angels, and Astros are all, like, close.
Yeah.
Same with our division right now. The Braves have I think 3.5 lead over us, and I think the Mets might have dropped. I think we're close with the Mets. I think us, the Mets, and the Marlins are all like right there for second place.
Yeah.
I think so. It's
Braves. The division's close. It's early yet. By the All-Star break, you'll see a little more movement. I think at the very least, our top three, us, the Mets, and the Braves, unless something whack happens, it's going to be close all year. It's going to come down to those games against each other, division games. That's it's going to move somebody ahead. They're going to take the crown.
You think the Marlins are going to fall down?
Yeah, the Marlins. I mean, for whatever reason, the Marlins always have players on it, but they just rarely are they able to put it together.
Philly should have beat the Marlins in that series, but we'll get them again.
Yeah, it's baseball. You always play them again.
It's a game of runs.
Yeah.
Just like basketball at the end, game of runs. Baseball is games of runs. Hot, cold, hot, cold. We're probably one of the hottest teams in baseball right now. We're probably one of the hottest teams in baseball now, along with Tampa Bay and the Pirates. So.
Yeah, like 14-2 or something in our last bunch of games. Something like that.
I would say we were the hottest if Rays don't have 5 losses and Pirates didn't have 8 losses.
Yeah. If they've been good the whole time, we're getting hot now.
I know. That's why we're one of the hottest teams in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers don't scare me tomorrow night either.
Nah. Yeah.
They're not
another team. We beat them in the playoffs.
They're not the same. They're not. We beat the Padres in the playoffs.
Yeah, we beat Dodgers before too.
Oh yeah, no, I thought you meant like last year. Yeah, I know. But this Dodger team ain't the same team from last year. They don't have Turner. They don't have no more Scherzer. I know they lost them a year ago, but that hurt their rotation. Walker Buehler's out probably for the end of this year, unless he somehow gets Tommy John surgery and comes back, but no one's ever come back. Usually the end of the year.
Yeah, not pitching.
So they just don't scare me. I think we can go in there and at least take 2 out of 3. Maybe even a sweep.
I have no qualms with it. I think we can easily go in there and do it. If the pitcher holds up and the bats go, we win the games. And
Rangers coming back soon?
Yeah.
Now, when Ranger comes back, who do you move out of the rotation? Obviously Will and Noel are staying, and Walker. Do you move Stammen out, or do you move Falter out?
Strom's been doing really good. So I don't know.
I think
only have Suarez pitch a couple innings here and there, so I can see him even maybe do a combination of Suarez and Falter, or Suarez and Strom, where he pitches the first 3, then that one comes in for 4 or 5 innings, and then you get to a closer if that part of the game does.
What, Falter and Strom on the same day?
Yeah, or you're even no, not Falter, Suarez.
Suarez, yeah. Yeah, because remember, Suarez won't be stretched out right away.
He only puts in a couple innings when he first comes back.
Yeah, so they probably will do that. But when he comes back, I think if Strom keeps pitching this well, I think Falter might be your long reliever.
Yeah, I mean, I think out of what he's been doing so far, Falter seems to be the one. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. He's pitching tonight. We'll see. We'll see how he does.
I think Falter has to pitch well tonight.
Yeah.
But even if he doesn't, I mean, he's still going to be here because I think if Painter was healthy, he wouldn't be here. But Painter's not, so this is his job right now.
Yeah, and Painter is young, so that's not that big of a deal. Let him get healthy. Let him get strong.
No, I'm not worried about him not being here right now because his health is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because he's 19 years old. You don't want to ruin a 19-year-old kid, bring him up too fast, you know what I mean?
No, you don't want another Steven Strasburg.
And Phillies know that, and they're smart about it. They're not going to bring him up. Like, he might be up this year. You don't know, but I'm just saying you don't want to rush it. If they say he can't go this year, then
and the roster, who knows?
If he can't go this year, then they'll be smart about it and they'll say, okay, we'll maybe have him throw here and there, but he won't pitch this year.
Yeah, I don't think they're not worried about this year with Painter.
I think their plans are to have him. They want him to be healthy, so when he does join the team, he's ready.
Exactly.
They don't want to say, okay, he comes up sooner than later and has an elbow surgery and then has to get Tommy John surgery.
Yeah.
And I think we got a good rotation now. A couple more questions before I go. Do you think Aaron Nola is worth $200 million? That's what he wants to come back.
$200 million for how many years?
I think like 4 or 5.
No, I wouldn't give Nola that kind of money. He's far. He at the end of the season, he always has good numbers, but he hasn't had a really good season in a couple of years. I'm not giving him that kind of money.
I like Aaron Nola, I really do, but I heard he wants $200 million from the Phillies, and I said, dude, Aaron Nola doesn't deserve. I don't think should get more money than Jacob deGrom.
No.
But again, Jacob deGrom got hurt again, so.
Aaron Nola has to get his act together and have a hell of a year if he wants that kind of money. If you want to get back to like Cy Young finalist Aaron Nola, then yeah, I'll give him a boatload of money. But we've had the last couple, like, nah, not so much.
Aaron Nola, and it's early. Aaron Nola can turn his season around.
Yeah.
He can have a good May, good June, but what Aaron Nola did to the Astros, that's the Aaron Nola we need all year round. I still think Aaron Nola is a good pitcher, but if you ask me, do I think on our team he's a 2, but on a regular team, I think he's a 3.
Yeah, the way he's pitching right now, yeah, he is.
If he goes to the Mets or any other good staff, he's a 4, but I think he's a 3. On our team, he has to be a 2 because he's not better than Wheeler, but at the end of the day, I think he's on our team. He needs to be a 2, but if you put him on another staff, like on the Pirates, he's probably a 1. If you go on, it depends what.
You drop him what? If you drop him on a good staff, he's a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, I know.
Staff, then he's a 1. On our staff, he's a 2.
Yeah, because we don't have any of those other guys. If you drop him on like the Nationals, he's a 1, but they're a bad team. So.
If bring Painter up and Painter is anything like he's supposed to be, all of a sudden Nola's a 3 on our team.
But we won't find that. And if, say, Nola, we don't re-sign Nola, and then Painter comes up next year and he's a stud, just say, and we don't re-sign Nola, in my opinion, you're really not losing anything. You're losing a little bit, but you still got.
Nola's a good pitcher, and I'd like to keep him. But at the same time, I don't want to break the bank just to keep him when he's not putting up, all-star numbers. Shows that kind of money, he's got to be an all-star pitcher.
Like, as much as deGrom gets hurt, he's an all-star pitcher.
Yeah.
Scherzer, Verlander, all-star. But again, I wouldn't give Verlander 145 or how much you gave him, $40 million for 2 years. Verlander's facing 40 years old.
Verlander's an asshole.
And Scherzer is getting 45 or 40 million for 3 years, and he's an old head too.
I'm Scherzer's the biggest dick on the mound.
I don't like those guys either, but Scherzer's facing a 10-game suspension.
Yeah, but that's 2 starts.
I
No big deal. I think one of them are the Nationals. So, deal.
Before I go, we covered everything we had to cover today. I think Phillies win the NL East. You say Phillies Blue Jays. I say Phillies Angels. We'll see who's right at the end of the year.
Yeah, as long as the Phillies are there, I'm okay with it.
If Mike Trout and Ohtani stay healthy, I think they can go. And I think the only way Ohtani stays with the Angels is if they get to the World Series, or at least deep.
Yeah, that pretty much be it.
If they don't get to the World Series, or at least I think championship game series, then I think he's going to want to leave.
Yeah, I think he might not even be there at the end of the season, but that'll all be dependent on how they're playing.
If they're contending, they're not going to trade him.
Yeah, maybe not.
They might. If they can get a little bat for him and they're in there, they might just trade him.
Yeah.
All right, Carmen, thanks for being my guest, my man.
All right, pal.
And that's it for the Bubcast. I am out.